What up, though, people? And everybody who may take interest into the Whatever Talk show and spinoff. Before I continue with this, because this right here may be a lengthy one, and I may have to do a part 2 because I am kind of running later than I wanted to. So, and I'm picking up my wife, so she may come in and we got to go to places and do all that stuff. So it may be a part 2. But the disclaimer is these are just thoughts, or should I say, I am not my thoughts. These are just thoughts, and I don't mind sharing my thoughts. That also being said, I would like to also add a second disclaimer about how before I get started letting you with this is I want to say this is as I'm going back and listening to it myself, and I think about how this is exactly part, or how we say this is a part of the white people or systematic plan on how they make you seem racist so they can say that you're the racist one and do whatever they want to you. Who is this? How you doing, Christina Perry? Yeah. So yeah, I'm going through listening to this myself, listen to myself, and listen to the things that I'm saying with my co-host, my friend, my best friend. And I'm thinking about it more, and I'm like, well, this is exactly how they get a black person to, I guess you could say, venture over into the racism side and be racist, so they can flip the script and say, hey, you're the racist one, so hey, we got to get you out of here. You're the nigger, whatever, and I'm not the one being racist. So keep that in mind. I don't think so. I'm actually feel like I'm justified in this, letting you know that this is a racist thought that I had, and it's 100% racism because the thought process that I went through is strictly based on a specific race or a specific ethnicity group, which happen to be white or Caucasian, whatever they want to identify themselves as. You still gonna be niggas to me. But listen to this. Then we're gonna have further elaborate on this. Hopefully we can hear this, and hopefully it plays. And it doesn't seem like it's going to play. So
we can get about whatever that's on your mind. Speak your mind, don't be shy. This is your time to shine. But Kev, I have no sympathy. I mean, empathy, not sympathy. Empathy for white people. I have just come to the I have just come to the realization. I have just come to the realization that I have no empathy for white people. Now,
like, empathy is more of an understanding, like.
Yes.
Right, yeah.
Yes, and sympathy is different from empathy. Sympathy is cool. Outside of the white people that I personally know, that don't apply to them, of course.
Right.
And yeah, and of course I ain't gotta say no names. I shouldn't have to say that.
Even when a person say, man, family is stabbing you in the back, they're not talking about the whole family. They talking about they stabbed them in the back.
They talking about the ones that know. Exactly. Talking about the ones that know. So that being said, I do have sympathy, even with all my jokes about me being a misanthropist. Mm-hmm. I do have sympathy on my fellow human. I care if somebody was a kid or something. Put it like this: when I watch movies and it's a sensitive portion, I don't hold back my tears. I let it go. I let it rip. Going back to Will, when Will Smith cried, you will cry as well.
Will Smith cried, you will cry.
Exactly. But going back to me.
I hope you guys can hear this. If you're not, just we elaborate on it. But yeah.
Having empathy for white people. Like, man, I feel like, matter of fact, I could literally watch a white person get hit by a car right here in front of me. Dang. You get pulled over by the cops, you getting beat down, I would not have empathy for you. This is why I feel like that. Matter of fact, this is why I know I feel like that, but I don't want to say I'm 100 confirmed on me not having empathy for the ethnic group white or Caucasian, if you want to get scientific, I guess. It's because of how we are as a people. Like, white people didn't have any empathy about making us into niggas that we are. White people had no empathy when they killed a family member, beat a family member, raped a family member of you. They had no empathy about the rest of the generation of said family, which brought forth niggas. Well, not brought forth niggas, because white people are the niggas. They brought forth themselves, which are niggas, but they created what we call niggas. And in the midst of all of that, that's what happened. You just got to think it. And watching all of this that's going down now, how you can read it, and not only can you read it, these niggas are telling you straight up, no subliminalness, no using certain words or whatever. These niggas are straight up telling you what they gonna do and how they gonna do it and how you are going to react to it. All because of what they done to us in history, and we are doing exactly what they said. Exactly what they said. We are reacting how they said we are going to react to it. We are taking it like they said we gonna take it. I mean, I was thinking about this, like, dang, man, I see I have seen some stuff, not in person, but I watch all these videos of the rare ones that you can find of white stuff happening to white people. Like when it comes to cops or something that somebody racist or so-called racist have done to them, and they act like what they're trying to throw out in the world now called reverse racism, which is like, what the heck? There's no such thing as reverse racism. Because first of all, before you even call it reverse racism, you're acknowledging the fact that racism is a thing. When you already stated that this ain't no racist place. So I'm like, man, nah. As of right now, white people get struck down. You can line them up. I'm be like, it's gonna be an entertaining show. But I also feel bad too, because not all of them deserve it. But this is why I have no empathy for the ones who don't deserve it as well. Who deserved it from us? Who deserved it from us? Like, we deserve to get our foot cut off because we decided to run away from getting beat and raped and all that stuff. So we deserve what happened to us because of that. We deserve to get raped in front of the congregation just to prove that we ain't the man that we claim to be. We deserve to get... These niggas just now passed... Before I even say what I'm about to say, empathy for white people. This is how they play you and want us to have empathy for them. Is they come up with acts or bills, and you don't even see it in the names of these bills. Make black people feel good about themselves, act or bill. Like, stop it with these retarded names of stuff, man. Just put the bill out there, or in fact, acknowledge the fact that why you got to put the bill out here now when it should have been put out here way back before my granddaddy was born. So these niggas just now passed the act called Emmett Till Act, where you basically is stating, pat him on the hand. No, don't lynch nobody. What's wrong with you? No, don't lynch. First of all, why is it an act just for lynching when that's murder? Right. You make it seem like you make it seem like when somebody get murdered, they hang them to be an example for anybody else that decide to act out, and that notion is called lynching. No, you're hanging them to death. That is called lynching.
They're dying.
Yeah. Exactly, which is murder.
You squirm until they can't breathe no more.
Exactly, which is murder. So you mean to tell me that it's okay to lynch just as long as they're not dead when you do it? But this is not a racist country, though. If this is not a racist country, how in the heck are you even talking about even passing this law before the law even got passed? But it's not a racist country. And you want us to have empathy for these niggas. Again, I care about my fellow man. I care about my fellow humans. Yes, I still claim to be a self-proclaimed misanthropist. It's just you white niggas. Y'all niggas need to grow up.
Yeah, what up, Jerry?
He said, "What up, though?" Yeah, man. Going back to that, I got no empathy for white people. But yeah, I feel like I'm being justified in my racism in this case right here.
Right. Hey, I feel you on this. I definitely, I second that.
That's most definitely a racist thing, by the way, because I'm making this thought process. I'm basing this thought process all on a specific race or ethnic group. But
right.
In this case, I feel like it's justifiable because of their history that they wrote for us to read of them. Which I think, now that I'm thinking about that, I think they wrote that and they trying to hide, they're not even trying to hide it, even though they are rewriting it. But it's kind of like, you know how, like the lynching thing, they hang them to show other blacks that we hang cats over here. Right. As an example. And I kind of look at history now as they wrote that as an example of y'all continue to do what y'all doing. This is exactly what you're going to get. This treatment that history has. You already, so you don't have to be in the shock if something happens to you.
Right. You already know what time it is.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess officially I'm a racist now.
Yeah. You are. Is that what you want?
Do you have anything to say about that, Kat? You want to add anything to that?
I mean, man, you said it already.
Yes. You want to listen to the whole episode of that, because it is some more stuff to be talked about on that particular episode. It's in the description here. Just click on it. But yeah, going back to this, I don't have any empathy for white people. I hope you had heard that clearly. If not, again, click the link. It's in the episode that you're listening to. Will be listening to if you click that. Yeah, man, these I thought about this somewhat heavily, and I'm like, you know what, I don't feel bad about thinking about this at all either, because white people are indeed the niggas that they call us, because they do everything. First of all, niggas are not black. Let's get that clarified. Nigga does not mean black. And the way that we use nigga does not signify black or any other race. But I do call white people niggas out of spite of them calling us niggas, which indeed I feel like they are the ones being the actual nigga. Because don't nobody like being niggas. Not even niggas like being around niggas. So, and again, it's mainly out of comical purposes when you listen to the show, but I do, on this point here, I do feel exactly how I feel. I don't have empathy for white people. It doesn't make a difference what happens to you. I'm not going to feel any empathy for you. Call it heartless or whatever. I call it being white. You could call, if heartless is white, then yeah, I am heartless then for not having empathy for white people. Like was said, I do have sympathy for my fellow human beings. My fellow human beings. I do have sympathy for my fellow human beings. And like was stated, this does not apply to the white people I know personally. I don't have to say their names, and I don't have to say that either. But since this is on a conversational level, or like you can join the conversation, or this right here, I'm saying it for the people who may be listening. But interesting twist to this though, which I thought about this, but I brought this up with my daughter, and she said the same thing. But when I said this doesn't apply to white people that I know personally, she hit me with, I don't know about that either. And I was like, yeah. Yeah. Because I don't believe the white people that I know personally are what I like to call sleeper agents, or are not gonna be the typical white, but at the same time they are white. And what made me think about that portion of what I just said is when these riots and protests was flying off all like crazy. You seen them in the media all the time, just boom, boom. That was what it was. That was the news at the time. And these cops, so-called allies, white ally cops. First of all, there's no need for you to say allies. We don't believe you when you claim allies. Allies is just a cover-up word for me, to me. So there's no need to state that you're an ally. Just be, are you cool or what? You cool or what? No ally. But yeah, white people have put in place, my wife coming, white people have put in place, which we call the system, or systematically, that they, hey, Annabelle. Love you. Love you too. White people have put in place systematically, or the government, which is white, has put in place systematically that we need them for every aspect of our lives. Every aspect. We can't do nothing without them, which history shows that as well. We couldn't have had free slaves the way that we freed slaves without the help of white people. It's in history. Harriet Tubman freed as many slaves as she could on her own, also with the help of white people, and just about a lot of other historic people who freed slaves. When you want to take a modern, we could take a modern. black people, we go through this thing of every year we support black people versus supporting black people every day, period. It's a holiday versus supporting black people. So every year we have a day where we supposedly buy from black people. But here's the thing about that versus making it an everyday thing or making it a part of your everyday living of buying black, is that here's the part where I just stated that white people has made it to where we need them for just about anything. You go to these black stores, they don't have what you're looking for. You go to another black store, they may have it, but might not have it. You go to another black store. Your black store, basically, you're shopping around the different black stores and they don't have what you're looking for. Who has it? The Walmarts, the Myers, the Targets. Yeah, some of those are chains and some black people own those, maybe. But the point is that you can't find what you're looking for from black stores because they're not giving it to black people to sell. If we had a black Walmart, there would be no need for Walmart. If there's no need for Walmart, that's a portion of money that they're not getting. They don't like that. Also, that's a portion of us becoming more stable in this reality of Earth that we live in. They don't like that. So it's systematically made for us to be against us. Like I stated in the clip you just heard, or if you listened to it already, they will beat us for no reason whatsoever. Oh, the reason was we looked across the street and it happened to be a white person in the direction that we looked. So we have to get beaten now because our eyes have set upon a white person. Like I stated in there as well, these niggas just now passing acts and laws and bills to, I don't even want to say protect against, to protect against it. Oh, sorry. But the thing about it is, we got beat for absolutely no reason other than they felt like beating us. They felt like raping us. They felt like being the evil that they are. And they called us the niggas. We sit here and watch on national TV. I bet you this was on probably across the sea, overseas as well. Floyd get murdered. And they use their godly persuasion, I call it godly persuasion, to say that, well, he was on something, or he was this, or he was that. I don't care if the nigga was, I said nigga. They're bringing it out. It's in our DNA, folks. It's going to be hard to change, to eradicate our dialogue, our vocabulary. But I don't care if this nigga, this man, this person was on that stuff, was a drug doer, but was he doing it at that time? Also, was he putting up a resistance at that time? Therefore, you just completed murder on TV. And they use their godly persuasion to say, nah, it wasn't that at all. It was resistance because I said you're arrested. And we just go with it. We go with the flow. I can watch the same... I'm good. I could watch a white person go through that same treatment. They could be all the way 100% innocent. I'm going to be like, dang, get that nigga. Get that nigga. I could watch a white person get pulled over, have 15 units, get out the car, and just yank that person out the car, and yank the other person out the car. Even, here's where it goes even more dark. Even do whatever they're gonna do to the kids of that white person car. And I'ma be like, get them niggas. Here's where I elaborate more on that. Here's where I feel. Because the change that we so-called crying about that we haven't changed on, we're not changing, folks. We're not changing. We're not progressing like DL be saying on his radio show. Oh, or shoot, man, we ain't even gotta go there. Like what y'all talking about now with this new the new judge, Supreme Judge, the black chick. What's her Jackson? I forget her first name. Oh, we're progressing. We're progressing. It's been black people in the freaking government, I don't know how long by now. And y'all still talking about we progressing? No. We're just being, nullified. That's what it is. We're just being nullified. We're being silenced. We're being content. That's what I see. That's how I see it. Because there's no progression being made if they allow a black to get on every now and then like they always been doing through history. This ain't the first black person that made it into freaking in the government somewhere. Yes, they claim it's the first Supreme Judge. So I guess you can say we're making progress if you want to call it that. But I don't see progress whatsoever. Do you realize that it's only been 100 years? And how long have we been human beings on Earth? We've been, how long? Jesse Jackson just got an award or a certificate for being 25 years of freedom fighter, and ain't nothing changed since he's been fighting. What about the 25 years before Jesse got into it? It was people like Jesse as well. What about the 25 years prior that person? And so on and so forth. And here it is again. What progress have we changed? This is why I said, when they pull this white family over, or if I see a white family in the midst getting whooped, or if I see and I have no empathy for white people, kids and all, the change that I see would occur, of course, over time. But if we jumpstart it the same way they jump started, I mean the way they did, man, that's when I'll probably see some change. And I say like I'ma live forever like a freaking immortal. I wish that was the case, because I would love to see this happen if it does happen this way. But the same way they treat us. And no, I'm not talking about just going around whooping on white people just because we feel like whooping on white people because we've seen them look at us from across the street, or they handed us some money and they touched our skin by accident, which is, oh my goodness, you touch a black person? I can't believe you had the audacity to lay eyes upon a black woman. Are you thinking about something? You got to get whooped. You got to get lynched. You got to get beat down. You have to have your life taken because you did not cross the street. And you know dang well you seen me just get on this block as a white person. And you had the audacity not to cross the street. Oh, you got to die. You have to get lynched. You have to. We made progress, y'all. We're making progress, y'all. Nah, this is what I mean by I say we got to treat them the way they treat us. Is they have no cares about what happens to me. Nope. They have no cares about what happens to my wife, my kids, when they decide to say, hey, you a nigga today. They say this saying, be the change that you want to see. Niggas, we've been talking about it and doing it, and we've been the change before we was even talking about be the change you wanted to be. It's in history. Y'all the ones that wrote yourselves as being the niggas that y'all are, and then turn around and say that we're the niggas, and you tell us to be the change that we want to be. We've been saying, hey, don't beat on me. We've been saying, hey, can I get a job position so I won't have to rob you right now? Or so I don't have to not rob you, be manipulated into robbing my brother? So you can say that, oh, 2 for 1. 2 for 1. We got a nigga that robbed, so we can lock him up. And this nigga killed another black one. 2 for 1. These niggas are being the change that they don't want to see. And that's the issue. That's the issue. We are said to be the change that we want to see. And that's what we've been doing our whole entire lives. And these niggas are being the change that they don't want. If you pay attention to the Constitution where they says, hey, we are only what percentage of a human, that's literally saying that we are their pets, because they treat us just as bad. Really, they treat the pets. Freaking pets got laws they got protection laws against them. So they won't treat the pets. So they get in trouble for treating the pets the way they treat pets. Or animals, period. But we are literally written to be a piece of a human being. And if you really think about it, they're upholding the Constitution. They're treating us the way that we are supposedly meant to be treated by law. Because we don't let the dog, well, yeah, we don't. We don't let the dog sit at the dinner table and eat with us. They do, though. They do. They're the ones are not the ones, their pets aren't the ones written as human beings, but they treat them more human than they treat us. But we're the niggas. And dang, to me, the sad thing I see about it, out of all this I got finished that I just said, this whole entire video, is that the saddest thing about it is that we're literally watching them tell us what they're doing to us, how we going to react to it. And we're literally letting them rewrite us back to being niggers. We're literally watching them, listening to them say what they're going to do to us. These niggas are on... I need that. Yeah. These niggas are literally on TV telling us that they're rewriting history, which they don't even have to announce it, because history has already announced or has already said that they had rewrote history a couple of times already. But nobody reads history or pay attention to history like that to talk about it like that. And here we are again, allowing these niggas to say what they say and to do what they do. And no, I ain't talking about go out there and riot. And I ain't even talking about going out there and hating. I don't want that to be understood. I ain't even talking about going out there and hating, because I don't hate my fellow human being. I just dislike white people the most out of everybody that I don't like. Which, again, I'm a self-proclaimed misanthropist. Look the word up if you don't know what it means. And to add more kind of details or intel on that, it's like, I don't hate humans, that's what a misanthropist is, a person that hates or dislikes humanity. I don't hate humans. I just dislike the antics of humans. And to more elaborate on that, I dislike the fact that we got brains. We know we got brains. We know what the brain is used for. And yet we're choosing to let other people dictate our fate. We're choosing to let other people say what to do next. And here's the twisted part about humanity's brains thought process. We're choosing to let the government tell us what to do, but we hate when other people tell us what to do. That don't make no sense to me. You're waiting and you blindly follow the government, waiting for them to tell you what to do, but you hate being told what to do. That's how jacked up humanity is. It's like, dang, people, not just black people, I ain't even mean for it to be one of these videos where they be like, man, you need to wise up. But yeah, you need to wise up. And by my definition of wise up, just start thinking. Period. Just start thinking, period. Like, ask questions. And if you don't know what is being said about you, don't act like you know. Because that makes you even more of a riri that you are. Like, ask to elaborate more, or even ask to be, can you say it differently? Maybe I could understand it in a different way. Don't sit here and act like you know about these words that these people are using. Think, man, just think. If we just think and stop being afraid to think, we might actually get that change that people are talking about that we have. We might actually get that progression that people have stated that we have. Because, again, I don't see any progression in black lineage, if you want to call it black lineage. I don't see any progression at all. It's wild. It's wild. If we would treat... Matter of fact, that'll be treating them fair, right? If thinking about it again, treating white people, not having empathy for white people will be treating them fairly, right? That would be equal rights, right? So to speak. That would be equally on playing fields, because they don't care about what happens to me after my family. So why should I care about what happens to their family after what happens to them? Just something to think about. These are just thoughts, people. Just thoughts. I just happen to lean towards this a little bit more. Not dead set locked on it, But I'm just leaning towards it a little bit more right now. Because white people need to grow up. And they need to be the change that they don't want to see. They need to be the change that they don't want to see. We need to start acting like we actually care about the things that we actually have.
Aren't they already being the change that they don't want to see?
You know what they are. You did. My bad. No, I said they need to be the change.
No, you said they need to be the change they don't want to see. I said,
yeah.
Aren't they already doing that? Because
no.
They don't want to see. Oh, listen, you mean like
they need? Yes, they telling. Yeah, basically, I'm reversing what they're trying to tell us, but we have already been doing that. They telling us we need to be the change that we want to see, but we've been doing that, and it ain't getting us nowhere. We still been killed for no reason. They need to be that change that they telling us we need to be. That's what I mean. They need to be the change that they don't want to see. Mm-hmm. Question before heading out. Had nothing to do with it kind of does, but I'm done with what I just got finished talking about. But I will leave out on the question that I have asked some folks, and we talked about on Whatever Talk. But supremacy, which is the reason behind this global racism, because racism is everywhere. Everywhere. Supremacy, which is, in this case, the system that we call the system, the systematic system, the law system, and all this stuff. Supremacy. If you had it, would you give it up? And I'm saying it plainly. Don't try to look for freaking loopholes. Don't try to use golly persuasion, white people. Don't try to don't try to look at it from another person's point of view. I'm asking you specifically, you being the person that you are now, not the person that you came from being. Back in the day, I would, blah, blah, blah. I ain't talking about, I'm asking you. I'm not asking the old you. I'm asking you, if you had supremacy, would you give it up? My answer right now, and not going to elaborate, and I'm going to close out on it. Yep. To the next episode of Whatever Talking to Myself. I guess I just been talking to myself out loud. Well, with my wife, Lakira, and Christina here, and Michael. What's happening, y'all? Thank you for being interested in what I had to say. And dang, you stay here the whole time, too. That's extra dope. Man, I might have to give Christina some type of gift card or some junk. I don't know, but thank you. I do appreciate it, though. And peace out.